think. All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out right here. 1 second. That's funny. Okay, a little typo. Looks funny. Okay, good. Good. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So today, hope everybody had a great trading day today, and really looking forward to this discussion tonight. Give me 1 second. Let me just send this message out real quick here. Sorry. There. Okay, cool. So yeah, so this is where we're at, right? We have the market right here. We came off of the upper Bollinger Band, right, on the monthly chart, and we've just kind of been pushing down, right? Now remember what happened last month. I know it seems like forever ago, but we're already halfway through this month, if you can believe it. But the right at the end of last month was the Fed, right? And so that kind of gave like the start, right, of this month, right? So it kind of pushed a little bit. So that's kind of where we're at. But I mean, everybody's looking at these big moves, and it's true, we're getting some huge swings, but it doesn't look like much because it's all contained within this monthly candle right here, right? And we're not even at the mid Bollinger Band. Look, we had 2 months that basically went through all this stuff, and it was fine, right, and all that stuff. So we're not even at the mid Bollinger Band yet on the monthly chart. We're just getting really big swings, right, daily swings here. So right now, last week, right, we had a hammer, and we're still contained within that hammer range. So we'll see if we get any follow through on that one. And in fact, right now the futures are up like 15 points. I know it doesn't matter much these days because we were up 15 yesterday, and then down 20, and then up 15 again. I mean, just crazy moves, right? But let's take a look at where we're at, right? So we have. So right now on the daily chart, we are we've pushed through the cloud, right? And so remember here before we thought we were going to break out of the cloud, we thought hopefully a consolidation and then break out through this kind of macro downward trend line right here from like a bump and run, all right? And we're kind of working our way up, and we thought we maybe hopefully consolidate right here and then work, pop up, right, to give us a minor pivot and then go, right, stay above the cloud, but we're not quite there, right? So in fact, yesterday was almost a Marubozu bar, pushed through the cloud, and now look what we have today, guys. Just so you know, we've got a doji right here, right? So a little bit of a spinning top doji, right, off of a big bar. So even though we're up 15 right now, just use caution, because if we push below today's close, right, or even today's open, right, we could see a doji sandwich here to the downside, right? So big red bar, doji sandwich, another big red bar, and then it might start working on some sort of reversal. So tomorrow might be a scary Friday. We just have to be prepared, right, one way or the other. So again, this could be a nice little reversal doji, right, and kind of work its way back up. But if it pushes down and things, bad news starts coming out, or whatever the case is, right, we could see a doji sandwich to the downside. Okay, sorry about the internet, guys. It's kind of like kind of blah 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 right now, right? So anyway, so there we go. So let's take a look at today's price action, just kind of intraday type stuff. We've been introducing these blue bars here to positive trend subscribers, right, along with our levels. And these blue bars are turned to be very, very powerful tools. And so you can see that with our levels, they really correspond with some big moves, right? So a lot of chop this morning. It was pretty nasty. We avoided this, but then look what we got here. Got an inside bar right here, followed by a nice outside bar, right, and then gave a nice push up to the 2850 levels, slight bull flag, and then back up, right? And then we had another bar right here, triggered to the downside, right, and then a reversal here. So kind of really cool price action there. Let's take a look at the daily chart real quick. Okay, take a look at the daily chart real quick. So here we go. The Arun. I was when I was looking at topics to talk about tonight, I had that pulled up, and I was like, oh, that's going to require another day. We're going to sit and look at that one a little bit later. So, but I do like the Ray Bull power up there. Just kind of, I like the green. It's just kind of neat. It's green even if it's up or down, right? You got to love that. So anyway, here we are on the kind of the macro daily chart, right? We've been working our way through this channel all since the beginning of 2018. Bounce off the channel, test, up, double top here, test, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, Christmas reversal, back to the channel, all the way up through the pitchfork median line, then the upper midpoint line, back down to the median, up to the top of the channel, right? And imagine that we tag it, basically once, general zone, tag it once, twice, and then we come back down to the pitchfork median line. And that is where we are today. We're below the 50-day moving average, but we're above the 200-day moving average. So we're kind of sandwiched between there, right at the pitchfork median line. So we're kind of at this like equilibrium point in the market. And we just have to see what it's going to do, right? If it does get strong, we can get a couple strong bars over this this pitchfork median line. Then we can start working our way back up through this resistance zone, and then maybe it'll become support, and then we'll try to get back to the top of the channel, right, and get an all-time high again. So we'll see where we're at with that. Okay, good. So from there, let's tonight we're just going to talk about. I thought this was really cool. It's I've got the link in the YouTube description, but it's called the demand index. Okay, and the demand index is it was developed by James Sibbett. Okay, and it takes into account over 20 columns of data to measure the ratio of buying pressure to selling pressure, and so it's really neat. So all you got to do is I'm going to go over here just to the 5-minute chart on. I guess SPX right here. Okay, so we could have this pulled up. I had Apple pulled up, which is pretty cool. I used it as an example earlier. So I'm just going to pull up the Apple chart here. Okay, I'm going to talk about a couple different things that are kind of highlighted in the Investopedia article on it. So give it 1 second here while everything gets loaded. So hopefully stream is coming through okay. Good. I don't see any comments here that there's no sound, so that's good. Let's see. All right, so what we have here, okay, I've already have it pulled up. Okay, so we have the demand index. Okay, so the demand, like I said, it takes into account like 20 different things, right, to determine, right, to measure the buying power versus selling pressure. Okay, and so traders often use it as a leading indicator that predicts where a security's price may be headed over the near and long term. Okay, so when he developed this, he has 6 rules that he used, for using it. So I'm just going to go over those, right here. Okay, so pretty interesting stuff. Okay, so number 1 is a divergence between the demand index and the price has a bearish indication. So it's just like when you find, bearish divergence on RSI, right? You also can find bearish divergence on this indicator, which is really interesting. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's find an example where we're going up, and then look for a divergence. Okay. Oh, here it is. Look, I've already drawn it. So here we go. So we were going up right here, right on Apple. Where you can see the trend was obviously up, right? And then look what happened here on the index, right? We had a negative divergence right here. So after that point, right, it was kind of an indicator that, hey, this might be going down. And that's what this actually really helps our trend lines, right? Because obviously we had a nice trend line right here. We had a minor pivot below it. And what do we like to do? We like to short when we get to those minor pivots, right? And then here's your minor pivot right here, this 20203, and then it ended up going and then giving continuation into the next day. Now, interestingly enough, right, this area also gave, right, kind of a minor pivot, right? We had this this upward trend line right here, just for instance, right? And we had this bearish divergence right here, right, into that, okay? And so you just need to use your trend line rules. You had a minor pivot right here, and you had a nice short, right, 20206 to 20162. Okay, so that's a pretty cool tool, right? I kind of like that. So really neat stuff. All right, so that's the first rule. Okay, the second one is prices often rally to new highs following an extreme peak in the demand index. Okay, so we could look here. We could say that this was an extreme peak. It's not quite well defined what the extreme peaks are, but you could look for relative ones. Right, this was pretty high right here, and we exceeded it here. So we had a big peak right here. Right, and then we went to new highs above this level, right? And we can kind of see what happened back here too, maybe. Yes, we had a big peak right here, right? Then we went to new highs. Okay, so that's kind of a neat little tool to use. The other one is higher prices with a low demand index often indicate a top in the market. And so we would look for a possible example. Okay, I think this was one of the harder ones to find, but you can kind of see. Okay, so high prices with a low demand index. So basically, I would look for something kind of negative, like at a spike. So here you can see, we gapped down, we kind of came back up here, right? But we were still pretty low on the demand index. Now, granted, it was after a gap, but that basically showed that, hey, maybe this was, kind of done right here. Even this spike right here, right? We had a low demand index below 0, right? And then it kind of came back down, right? So any of these spikes in price that had a low demand index were basically short the rip, type situations. Okay. The next one is the demand index moving through the 0 line suggests a change in trend, and I think this is probably better on the longer term time frames. I mean, I suppose right here, right, we're kind of drifting up. So obviously changes in trend, you always want to confirm that with your trend lines, right? So we had kind of this right here, this. We did have a minor pivot right there, so any breakthrough through there was a possibility. And that here we go. We had the demand index got through 0 right here, retagged it, and went back down right through. Look at that, inside bar and then down. So that does work pretty nicely. But use confluence with the trend lines. Okay. The next one, the demand index remaining near 0.9 indicates weak price movement that won't last long. It's kind of like a contraction leads to expansion type situation. Okay. So let's take a look at that real quick. All right, well here, this is actually a perfect example. So we have price kind of hanging out around here, around the 0 line, okay? And right, and we're kind of consolidating right here too on the chart. So when we're kind of hanging out here, it's going to show that things, might expand. So this might be a little more interesting to look at on the daily chart for a potential straddle, right? Something like that, where we know it's going to move one way, right? It's going to compress. I mean, I thought this was really interesting. I saw like a lot like in this range right here, okay? So you can see here, it was just kind of hanging out for a little bit, right? And then look at that, right? Hangs out around the 0 line, and then boom, right? It starts to move and gives big expansion right there, into that big spike up. So that's actually pretty significant, right? From remember how big that move was the other day on Apple? It just kind of, we talked about that. We did the video on that and how it triggered like this cascade effect to the upside. I think it's very interesting that the demand index was just kind of choppy all through that 0 line and eventually started to move right into the next day. Big expansion move. So that was so that's pretty cool. Okay, and the last one I think is a long-term divergence between the demand index and price predicts a major top or bottom. So and I think that's basically just your positive negative divergence that we were talking about earlier, right? So, ultimately, you look for those big moves up potentially, and then maybe a negative divergence on the price. So here we have this big move up, right? Big spike there, right? Remember that we chopped around all day right here, and you had big, bearish divergence kind of like right there, right? And eventually kind of came down and just, it's kind of way down here now. So, I mean, it's just a short-term example where you can kind of see it. So pretty cool stuff. I really, I was kind of looking at this and I was like, wow, that sounds really neat. It's a really cool tool. So I figured I'd share it with you and kind of go through those points with you. So, yeah, so good stuff. So at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those into the chat window. I'll get through as many as we can, try to wrap up by 10:30 so we can all get a good night's sleep going into Friday for Lotto Day, Option Day. Just remember tomorrow's Friday, so keep in mind it's expiration day. No problem trading, Lotto's expiration stocks and all that stuff. Just don't get caught in it because you want to get assigned, right? That's kind of the big deal. So yeah, let's check in here. So Julian, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Eric, how's it going? Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Harvey, how are you, my friend? Hope you're feeling better. G10, how's it going? Yeah, slow day in the SPY and IWM. Now IWM, and we'll talk about this later, guys. But look forward to the newsletter this weekend. It's going to really go over a lot of this stuff. We'll do some videos. Some great stuff here. But let's go to the 5-minute chart here on the IWM and just take a look. It did give a nice move today, and somebody pointed it out in the live stream this morning. But yeah, I'm just looking at that. I'm just here at the open, just a lot of nasty chop. I mean, we had one potential move right here. You had a quick little doji right here at a key level to the downside, and then yeah, I see what you're saying. Just kind of blah. And then the SPX too. A couple key moves that we could have caught. That were good. But yeah, slow day. So we'll see. After a couple big these range days, right? These kind of smaller days are a little bit more challenging. So anyway, Jay, how's it going? Hello. Jimmy, what's happening? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope everybody's okay. Yeah, I'm good. Can we take a look at Tesla and PFE? Yeah, let's take a look at those. So Tesla, guys. Getting beat down yesterday. It was nasty for Tesla. Look at this. But guys, you're going to love these blue bars. I'm telling you, look at that double blue bar right here at the open, right? And then all the way down. Beautiful. Another entry right here. All the way down. So that was good. And then today, not so fun, right at the open. It's just like, hey, good morning, I'm Tesla. All the way to downside. So right now it is kind of in this consolidation mode. Get a little buying at the close here, which is kind of nice. So we'll see. It's just been getting just marauded at the open. So just be careful with that. Let's take a look at the daily chart. here. So again, now we kind of have a potential bump and run kind of going right here to here. Okay, so so nice reversal here off of an old confluence zone. So yeah, so take a look at this. See you tomorrow. See if we can get over this this downward trend line, right? It gives us a minor pivot. Hopefully maybe a little inverted bump and run, and then we can get out of this cloud again, which would be nice. It could give it certainly could give a big move with that if we get there. And we've got this huge gap to fill, and if anything could do it, Tesla could do it. PFE. I had so many alerts. I've adjusted my alerts. I was giving myself alerts on like the Tiki, like anytime it went over like certain levels. I was like, I'm done. I'm just switching them to, I'm just switching it to the extremes. If I could get an extreme tick or an extreme Tiki, that's I can't have 70 alerts like in an hour. It's just too much. But here, this is looking actually pretty interesting here. It's a little kind of cute right here, but it did give a small little upper shadow up, above this downward trend line. So a possible breakout above today's high could be the move for PFE tomorrow. So thanks for bringing that up. I'm actually going to add that to the game plan for tomorrow. Nice one on that. Good. Enjoy Life Apparel. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you, Sarah. Good evening. G10. Yeah, let's go over CNC, IWM, and Nutanix. CNC. Let's take a look. CNC Music Factory, right? No, that's different. Old school. All right, let's take a look. Centene. Thought we had a trend line on this one, but we definitely had an orb on it at some point. So here's your low. We didn't quite trigger below there. So here's your line. Here's your trend line, right? Okay. Here's your minor pivots. Not so minor, but it's got to get. I mean, really, honestly, for this thing to really do anything, it's got to get above this level, 50. It's got to get above 50 for it to be good. I mean, short-term downward trend line right here, right? So, oops, give me another box. Short-term downward trend line right here. Okay, so just keep an eye. It could, it could get, if it gets over today's highs, it could give you a little spike. But short-term, overall, if it does, it could trigger that and ultimately trigger the breakout of the box. So that could be interesting. So definitely keep an eye on that. It is holding support here at that previous low, so that's a good thing. IWM. We just looked at the daily price action. Let's kind of see where we're at on the or the intraday price action. Let's see where we're at on the daily. So similarly, we have here to here, minor pivot. The macro trend is down, but you do have a little bit of a, sorry, it's not perfect, but you do have a little minor bump and run type thing working here. So it's a little bit interesting. I mean, I guess you could kind of do that. So look and see, if we get a little consolidation. If it does start to break, we could get a little inverted bump and run up to, maybe run up to the cloud or something like that. So we'll have to check that out. And then Nutanix. NTNX. Let's take a look. Golly, it had like these big moves down, right? And like you'd be like, okay. It's actually a perfect trend line right there, guys. Tags the top of this candle right here and this candle. So that's good. So actually over today's highs, we could start to see maybe a little earnings run for it. So that would be pretty interesting. So definitely keep an eye on that. Good stuff. Nudie Poo, what's happening? Facebook. Facebook time. So Facebook, we already have the trend line in here, so it's definitely kind of downward trend inside day today. So it could be interesting. A push over today's highs could get us back up through the cloud. So I think that's worth watching. So I'm going to put an alert on this. Create alert. Inside day up. Okay. Of course, inside day down is breakdown through the cloud, and the trend is down. I love reversals, but just keep in mind we are trending down. So if it does break below today's lows, that could actually be pretty nasty. So I'm going to put an alert there too. May as well profit from it either way, right? So. Okay, so tomorrow should be an interesting day for Facebook. Cool. And then Netflix. The Flickster. So Netflix is interesting. Netflix put in a fresh downward trend line today because it put in fresh recent low. So that was neat. So the trend for Netflix still remains down. Oh, keep in mind it's been through this 300 level, so it filled that prior gap. And look at that. So we shifted the trend line today. It continues down even from pre. This trend line is from pre-earnings too. Gave a nice, three white soldier recovery, but couldn't get any follow through on it. Back into this kind of, prior congestion zone of Netflix where it never got out of forever. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing keeps going down. 250, could be a possibility on this thing. Well, I mean, we'll have to see. We'll see how the price action is. But right now, the trend is down until proven otherwise. So just keep that in mind, right? It is putting some lower shadows. It's giving a little bit of reversals and all that stuff. But today was great for Netflix for shorting, right? So we had this today on the live stream. I pointed it out right before I came offline, and had this beautiful blue bar right here through a key level and gave a nice move. These were a double on the I think the 295 or the 292.5 put. So those were so pretty nice right there. So good stuff. Good. So there's Netflix. Jay, what's happening? How do I change the colors of the candlesticks? Well, Jay, we have to be a member. Right? So you just go to you just have to edit with the thing script and all that stuff. So you just put like a little calculation in there. So if the high of this bar is less than the high of that bar, and the low of this bar is greater than the low of this bar, paint the color equal to yellow. And this is the opposite, right? So if it's greater than this bar, greater than that bar, you paint the color equal to blue. So Jay, feel free to message me, man, through Twitter, and I can send you the script if you're interested in it. So Netfry, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope you had a great day today. Jason, what's happening? Jay, you like the Raybull Power Volume Indicator? Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? It's really neat. I really like it. It's a great indicator. But I'm now an official convert to the that demand index. That thing is strong. I like that. Jason, great day for you. Good. Very nice drop in Tesla. Congratulations on that. And Netflix, very nice. Oh, I know, Beyond. Oh my gosh, Beyond. We got to pull that one up, guys. Incredible move, guys. This was our blue candlesticks would have got us in this pretty well. It's kind of interesting. It's still just kind of in this kind of triangle range. It hasn't even gotten close to this gap yet, but 100 is not an impossibility for this stock, and I love it that it gave this kind of move today, because right, it's finally like everybody's like, oh man, Beyond is like the best, it's going forever, right? And then it's like, so it's doing what I would do if I ate a Beyond burger. So, but oh, it's so funny. I took my son to a Cracker Barrel, and we ordered a hamburger for him, and they put like 2 patties on those things. I was like, this is awesome. Raw. Anyway, to all the vegans too, I understand. It's all good. So. Anyway, nice outside bar. Look at this, guys. We got a blue bar right at the open, which is an indicator for a potential short. On a breakout below that, and look, this was perfect. I mean, it was nonstop, guys. I think one of the entries on this thing was like 20 cents, and it went up to like, I don't know, like $20 or something. It was like ridiculous. Like I would have been stopped out probably in here somewhere, or I would have stopped myself out somewhere in here, taking profit. But who would have thought? I mean, from 150 all the way down to like 137, just an incredible move. But lots of good price action here. Even if you missed that first move, it gave you an inside vibe right here to get in. It would have paused for a little bit, but gave a nice move after that too. So you had a nice signal bar there too to get in. So that was good. Yeah, Beyond. It's too funny. Brad, what's happening? Good to see you, man. Jay, can the CCI be used in the same way as the demand index as far as reversals go? So like the, let's see. Let's take a look. We'll just pull it up here on Beyond to see what it gave us here. I don't know the calculations of it. I didn't get too in depth into the demand index to see what the calculations are. But let's take a look and see if we had any negative divergence on this. So here we are, right? Everything's trending down. So at this point, we want to look and see if we have a positive divergence on it. So we have here where we got the downtrend here, right? And then here we do have a bullish divergence on the CCI, right there. So if you friended the CCI, there you go. There's your reversal, inside bar right there. Nice reversal into the end of the day. So yeah, I think you can use this as well. And then even here you had this You're heading up. Here's your upward trend line, like this. Have your bearish divergence here, right there. Nice little, I mean, it's after hours, but you can see the price still move to the downside. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I say go for it if you're interested. And even here, right, you can see that this was not a bearish divergence, right? So we were downtrending here on the stock, and we were here. We were actually not divergent, right? So this was a downward slope right through here. Okay, so something to keep an eye on. So yeah, I like it. It looks good. So we will do that there. Okay, cool. Looks good. Jose, what's happening? Apple and Baba. Yeah, let's take a look. So Apple. Apple's a mess today. It was just this was great. I really like that compression move right there. I mean, just imagine what the straddles even were on that if it was going to go one way or the other. Pretty impressive stuff. But let's take a look here into the we don't have to reinvent the wheel with all this stuff. I mean, you had this amazing, James Sibbett, this amazing, index creator, right? Just, use his stuff to our advantage, But here, let's take a look at Apple. So Apple's really interesting today. Really, really complex. You had one good reversal opportunity right here. We had a nice blue bar here, push up, and another continuation bar right here. You just have to be careful into the cloud. So we'll get into that like in the newsletter this weekend. Okay, but Apple in general. We had an inside day yesterday, right? Try to take it to the downside, right? Gave it a little bit of a move down this morning, and then just kind of came up a little bit. So at this point, we're kind of just coming off of an inside day. So, spinning top, kind of a bearish engulfing, real body right here. And so, just see if, it gets any more downside, possibly to the cloud or something like that too. So it's that doji sandwich on the daily, which is kind of interesting to me. So, and if we gap up tomorrow and we start getting weak, we could push. We could really push it down. So it could be a nasty Friday. I don't know. It could be a great Friday. It could be an up Friday too. We'll have to see. So there's Apple. Let's take a look at Baba. Baba was on our 15 orb list today, guys. It didn't really behave so much off of the 15 orb, but let's take a look here. So, nice up day for it today. Couldn't hold, right? We got above the first gap and go level, at the open, and then it came right back to it, right? We couldn't get to the gap and go level 2. So all it really did was gap over the 2-day ago high and come back. So nothing like, super impressive. But let's take a look at the 15 orb today to see if it gave us anything. It did. We had a 15 orb right here, inside bar, followed by an outside bar, followed by an inside bar, followed by a bear flag, and then finally a push out through the bottom of the 15 orb, right? So not the easiest price action, but once again, Baba is not the easiest stock to trade. So just kind of keep an eye on this. I mean, it was pretty bearish, so we got a big gap right there. So if we do get weak tomorrow, Baba would be one to go to on the short side. So I'm actually going to add that to the game plan there. Okay, cool. Good. Nice one. Jason, let's take a look at Match.com, CMG, and Roku. Short. Yep, definitely short on Roku. Very, very possible. Match.com, guys. We looked at this the other day for a potential swing, and I did not take an entry just because I was just like, too timid, like with the market being, so crazy. But it would have worked out nicely because what I really, really liked here about Match.com is where it pulled back to and the setup that it gave. Now it's basically like a morning star setup right here, right? With this big down bar, right? We gap down, right? Real body below it, and then we had a nice push up here. We've closed above, pretty much 50% of the range right here. So Match.com looks really, really good, guys. And in fact, I should have put another swing on with this one. So I'm going to look for a push above to today's high. Yeah, I was like slapping myself today, like that I missed this missed this trade yesterday because we were looking at it at the close, and here's that minor pivot. That's your gap and go level right there, and it put a nice doji at it. And it even tested below it, and it closed above it. So what a perfect entry for a swing trade right there. I mean, just perfect. And then obviously it's up today. So let's just take a look. I do want to see the price action on that. It still looks good for a potential long. I just want to see if it gave us any like nice reversal bars here. It did give a nice hammer right here. And then it's kind of chopped at that. This is what formed the hammer, right? Here's the bottom tail right there at the open, and then right here. So tricky. It would have been tricky. Even if I was swinging it, I might have pulled out like right here. So yeah, but it could be a good swing long. Could get some more movement. I love it when these when our gappers pull back to those key levels and give us some price action keys, to go forward. So so nice stuff on that. What else? CMG had a double inside day the other day. You guys know we love double inside days. And so that gave a double inside day to the downside, right? So nice move there. Okay, so, for whatever, 17 points. And then today gave us an inside day. So now we just have to see how it's doing. So just be careful here. We have this we're still below this kind of relative, upward trend line. So a breakdown again below this inside day lows could see some more downside. Maybe it'll come back to the fib fan line and give us some new entries. And then Roku is very similar, right? So Roku, obviously, I think long term is very bullish, but short term, okay, we had this upward trend line right here. Yesterday, minor pivot low. Today we tried to push down through it. We couldn't quite do it yet. So now I put a new minor pivot. So just keep on watching these lows, right? This 128, if it gets below 128, we could start seeing like a closing gap fill right here to 125. And then, then we'll have to see what it wants to do there. It could move down quickly, and then it usually likes to recover. So just be careful with that. James, what's happening? Yeah, CVS, let's take a look. CVS. Yeah, here's another beauty right here. Perfect potential swing long area here as well. So we had the gap up after earnings, right? Big move right through the gap and go levels. It's kind of gapped up again, filled the gap today at the GG2 level, and it closed above it. So I do think this looks really good, guys, for a potential swing, just like Match.com does. Could work its way back up to the 60 level, over a few days. Good potential swing on that one. Alex, what's happening? BA. Very nice move on Boeing today. Gave a couple great price action, intraday, kind of day trading type stuff, which is really good. Here's your minor pivot level here. I've already got as your swing long level right here. Is another minor pivot. So we are below this, okay? So we just have to just be careful here. We did, a push above today's high. Could give another move, right? Could give it a nice little gap right here. Nice little move on Boeing. So that is on the long radar for sure. Jay, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Give me a shout out. Eric, what's happening? Yeah, IWM. So we looked at that a little bit earlier, but IWM is interesting. It does move fast, right? So when we kind of go into it, right, here a breakout below today's, we need to get a minor pivot on this. We need another day on this one before we look to do a potential swing on it. So definitely keep an eye on it. Keep it on the radar. We go into some of the stuff that we were talking about earlier, like that intraday price action off the 5-minute chart. If my Thinkorswim doesn't crash on me here. Give it 1 second. Let it come back to life here. I might have too much stuff on here, too many drawings or something. 1 second. Here we go. This is about the time where it's gonna come back and be like, we are having performance issues. It's like, no kidding. All right. Yeah. We can kind of see here, just kind of chat about it here for a second. But you can see it's kind of move down. Right, we had a little bit nice inside day right here, followed by this outside bar that kind of came up. Give that nice move right here, inside day down, outside bar down, right? And so now we just have to see how it holds this kind of bump and run, right? So tomorrow it'll either way. Tomorrow is going to give us a minor pivot, right? Unless it just gaps way down, and then we'll have to see if it gives us that minor pivot for potential inverted bump and run on this one. Sorry guys about my Thinkorswim. I don't know why it's so locked up here right now. I was going through all the charts fine. It's just going to give me one of those performance issue detected. Do you want to report it to, whoever, to the Thinkorswim group? Yeah. Sorry guys, just give it a minute here. Yeah. I don't have to reboot everything. I really don't know why it's doing this. It's like just come offline for a second. Let me just try to give me 1 second, guys. Let me see if I can trigger it with maybe like a task manager type thing or something. I don't even see it as an app running right now. It's so crazy. It's not even showing up on my app running list. Definitely need to upgrade computer because I'm looking at my CPU utilization is like at like 100%, which is crazy. Well, I hate to cut everybody off early here, but I don't want everybody to stare at Thinkorswim this whole time here. High CPU detected, definitely. I'm gonna do tons of upgrades on my my system. CPU is definitely gonna be important. Memory, so far so good. And then the Wi-Fi probably. So we'll get into those. Anyway, guys, I think this thing is frozen up, so I don't want to waste everybody's time, just kind of staring at my chart here. So, but we looked at IWM a little bit earlier, Eric. So, definitely worth going back and kind of checking out, kind of see where that's at. And yeah, it's all locked up, guys, and I don't want to have to reboot it for everybody. So I apologize about that, for all that. So Manoj, NVIDIA, we'll just take a look at that tomorrow on the no problem, Sarah. Yeah, no problem, Alex. So we'll take a look at NVIDIA tomorrow, Manoj. It's definitely going to be on the 15 orb list, right, because of earnings. So we'll definitely check that out. And then STZ, I have to look at that later because I just can't pull it up right now. So we'll check it out, Eric. Yeah, definitely, and absolutely, James. And so, Albert, what's going on? Yeah, so CVXC and CAT short, they could be good. Just message me later on those. I'm sorry, I'm not able to get to those right now, just to look at those. But I like all your stuff. So. Harvey, awesome, man. I'm glad you're feeling better, and looking forward to an awesome Friday tomorrow. So hopefully get some good lottos out there for everybody, so we can all get a little cash flow going into the weekend. So good stuff. All right, guys. Well, apologize about Thinkorswim kind of freezing up there, but I think we got through most of the stuff. We definitely got through the discussion, and hope that helps. So, all right, guys. Have a good rest of your evening. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Sunday night. As we keep doing what we're doing. So hopefully everything's good. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and remember your risk first, and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.